We'll call to order the July 9th, 2012 meeting of the Ascension Consolidated Gravity District Number 1. Would everyone please stand for the invocation by Mr. Chris Lohr, and please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Dear Lord, as we gather here tonight, we pause in remembrance of two of our own who have recently passed away, Mr. Danny Laporte, who was in our utilities department, and also the parish president's brother-in-law, Mr. Charlie Chamberlain. We ask that you grant them entrance into your kingdom, Lord, and we ask for those of us who have also lost loved ones that you give us peace in our hearts and help us to remember to live the rest of our days remembering how precious they are. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Secretary, please note that all councilmen are present. Anyone wishing to speak on any agenda item, please sign in with the secretary, and you'll be given ample time whenever that agenda item comes up. We'll move to agenda item number 4. The chair would recognize a motion to accept the minutes of the June 4th, 2012 regular meeting and the June 13th, 2012 special meeting.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
We have a motion by Mr. Todd Lambert.
Second.
Second by Mr. Benny Johnson. Any discussion? Any opposition? Motion passes. I don't have anything on the chairman's report right now, but we'll get into the major drainage projects and the emergency project later. We'll move right into agenda item number 6, drainage report. Mr. Ruth.
Yes, sir. As always, you have your individual district reports in front of you. What we ask is for you to review that, and because of the amount of meetings that is on for tonight, that if you have any questions, I can talk to you after the meeting or preferably tomorrow, and we can answer any questions you may have on that and go through it with you. First, our major projects, Morganville Pump Station is a little bit behind on time right now, but most of it's due to wet weather, inclement weather. And they still hope to make up that time a little bit later when they get out completely out of the ground and get into on solid concrete. They're pouring a lot of concrete now, and this bad weather really caused a delay a lot of times. Other than that, the project is going well. Henderson Bayou, the same thing, pouring concrete, trying to get the footings in, for the pump station itself. It too is going well. We have a change order tonight that we'll discuss, and we'll talk about the project at Henderson Bayou a little bit more in depth at that time if you wish. We also have the Fault Bayou issue that we had the special meeting on, and we'll discuss that in executive session, tell you the update of that. Other than that, with the exception of, we hope to get started on Muddy Creek improvements through the grant. Right now, that only entails doing some more engineering and some modeling of that basin. It does not include any actual work yet. And the main thing with that project on what we have so far would be the permitting of that project. And that'll take the longest and probably the most money to get through that stage. Other than that, everything is proceeding. I guess I better mention, too, about the Sorrento pump station. We still haven't started that project. We have everything secured out there, and we're monitoring the situation. It's holding together. We don't see a major problem. Waiting until we get all the fabrication of components for that project on site, because we have an agreement with the contractor. He says that he should be able to do it within 2 days if we don't start it until the notice to proceed until the components are on site. So we're doing that now. We should have that by next month, everything on site. At that point in time, we'll give the notice to proceed, and hopefully we can finish it in 2 days. So get it up and running so we're not, behind the 8 ball if we get any kind of bad weather or hurricanes or anything like this. And again, that also we'll wait until we know we have good dry weather for at least a week ahead of us, so we know we're not going to fall into any kind of problem. That's our basic report. I'd be glad to answer any questions about some of our projects. And again, you're on your district reports. Call me in the morning. We'll get you with a proper supervisor and go through some of the issues you may have. That's all of my report.
Anybody got any questions on the, yeah, Brian Longson.
I love getting the reports when we come here, but is there any way that we could have the commissioners have access to the system where if we get a call, instead of having to try to hunt one of y'all down, maybe we could just read this if it's during the month and give them a quick answer, and if not, then come to y'all?
Yes, sir, you can. I'll get with our IT department, and they'll instruct you, give you instructions how to access
Okay.
some of our system from your home computer.
Be great, thank you.
Okay?
That's all you got,
That's it?
Brian?
Yep.
Anybody else? Do you have anything else on your report?
That's all
Mr.
I have, Mr. Chairman.
We'll move on to agenda item number 7, authorization to bid Roundtree Road Bridge replacement. Mr. Rue.
Yes, sir, the bid documents are being prepared at this time, and we're ready, once they're prepared to go for advertisement for bids for this project. We need authorization to do so.
So move, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
We have a motion by Mr. Todd Lambert, second by Mr. Brian Malonson. Any discussion? Any opposition? Motion passes. We'll move on to agenda item number 8, authorization to bid Village Road Bridge replacement. Mr. Rue.
That's the same thing with this bid replacement. We're getting some extra right-of-way and also permission from the church to use their parking lot. And once we get that, the bid document will go to bid, and we need the authorization to do so.
So move, Mr. Chairman.
We have a motion by Mr. Todd Lambert. Second by Mr. Kent Shake Snyder. Any discussion? Just a quick note on that, on the Village Road project. I did speak to someone at the church, and the engineering firm and I will meet at a later date with the church. I'm working out the construction that they have, coordinate with the construction that they have ongoing there, and the construction that we will have on the bridge project.
That'd be fine. Anything specifics as far as the timeline or anything like this, signage or detours, we need to get it straight, so we add that to the bid documents before it goes to bid.
Yes, so that, the engineering firm will present that at that time. Any opposition? Motion carries. We'll move on to agenda item number 9, authorization to proceed with the Hazard Mitigation Grant Program, Elevation Project 1603N-005-0003, Site 1-16313, Site 2-17177, Site 3-18445. Mr. Rue.
Yes, sir, this is part of the Hazard Mitigation Grant Program, the elevations of structures. We have 3 separate resolutions I need to read and approve one at a time,
Separately.
separately. First one, East Ascension Consolidated Gravity Drain District Number 1, to authorize Parish President Tommy Martinez to enter into a cooperative endeavor agreement with homeowner for the elevation of Site 1-16313 in the amount of $120,711 under HMGP 1603N-005-0003 in accordance with all FEMA required regulations.
So move, Mr.
We
Chairman.
have a motion by Mr. Todd Lambert,
Second.
second by Mr. Benny Johnson. Any discussion? Any opposition? Motion carries.
Second resolution, East Ascension Consolidated Gravity Drainage District Number 1, to authorize Parish President Tommy Martinez to enter into a cooperative endeavor agreement with homeowner for the elevation of Site 2-17177 in the amount of $184,840 under HMGP 1603N-005-0003 in accordance with all FEMA required regulations.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
I'll second.
We have a motion by Mr. Satterley,
I'll second.
second by Mr. Todd Lambert. Any discussion? Any opposition? Motion passes.
Third resolution, East Ascension Consolidated Gravity Drainage District Number 1 to authorize Parish President Tommy Martinez to enter into a cooperative endeavor agreement with homeowner for the elevation of Site 3, 18445 in the amount of $170,642 under HMGP 1603N 005-0003 in accordance with all FEMA required regulations.
Got a motion by Mr. Dempsey Lambert.
Second.
Second by Mr. Sadler. Any discussion? Quick note on this, I want to remind everybody that this is 100% FEMA money. This is grants for the people, for elevation. Any discussion? Any opposition? Motion passes. We'll move on to agenda item number 10, change order number 3, Cajun Contractors, Henderson Bayou Floodgate Project. Mr. Rue.
Yes, sir. This is for change order number 3 to Cajun Contractor for the Henderson Bayou Basin Project. The original contract price is $15,892. $15,892,000. This change order is to increase it by $267,000. We already had a decrease of $865,000, and that'll give the final sum of
$293.
$15,293,671.72. It's actually still under budget. And the explanation of this is that we knew this going into the project. This has to do with the amount of muck that has come out where the permanent levees going through the swamp area. At the time the bids were made, we weren't able to get in there and take accurate borings of the area that was in the swamp underneath where the potential levee was going to be placed. So we made some assumptions, and we put in those assumptions into the bid, and with the stipulation that when we come down to this point now where we're able to get in there and make them accurate core samples, we can determine exactly how much muck has to be removed and how much fill has to be replaced. And we're doing that under time material, and we're taking accurate accounting of that time material. We have a man that's permanently in place there to do that. So it is a benefit to the parish to authorize this change order. It's the best way to go under the circumstances, because if we'll put in, it's up to the construction firm to put in their own price, and with the unknown, they would probably overestimate it and cost us more money. This is the best way to work it, especially on a time material basis. And we wish that we're hoping for the project to move forward after this. We're waiting for this change order so we can get to work on the levee section.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
A motion by Mr. Todd Lambert, second by
Chris.
Mr. Chris Lohr. Any discussion?
No discussion.
Yes.
Bill, how long after this bulking, before the actual levee, the starting of the levee, how long you think it will be after this?
Well, they should start pretty soon, because again, they were waiting on this to get it clarified exactly what they had to remove and how they were going to go about it for us getting payment for it. They're ready to get started on that side. Basically, they had some good dry weather. Now we're getting into a little wet season, and it was holding them back a little bit. But they're still able, as soon as this is approved, start doing some work on the other side, getting the bad material out, making a ring levee to keep it dry, and start going with the new specifications on the levee. The thing is, a lot of the problems in the past, as far as getting to that side, kind of stalled everything a little bit, but not to a significant degree. So they should be moving forward on that side pretty fast. Up to this point now, they have been busy pouring concrete on the structure itself, so no lost time came about from this issue here or the other issue with the access road. Everything is good on that point.
Yes. Thank you. Any other discussion? That's one of the points I wanted to make. This is change order number 3. And so basically, one of them was a credit for about $865,000, and what we have so far with the 2 positive, the outreach is about $280-something thousand. But all three change orders, we have not, there was no request for extension of time of the project, and anything that we've had so far has not affected the time frame. So
And we're still under about $600,000 under
Right.
the original contract price.
that's good. And we want to hold on to that 600. All right. Any other discussion? Any opposition? Motion passes. We'll move on to agenda item number 11. Approve a whole harmless agreement, Lot 45, Cedar Grove subdivision, address 42142, Conifer Drive, Gonzales, Louisiana. Mr. Rue.
Yes, sir, this is a little housekeeping. We brought this to you about a month ago. Has to do with the encroachment into a right-of-way, drainage servitude by just a couple of feet, and it's underground pipe there. There's no issue with us for the encroachment. Y'all approved, recommended to the Planning Commission to revoke the servitude. They also issued the homeowner gave us a harmless in case we had to get in there in a future date, absolving us from any damage to the property if we needed to get in there and do some work. The planning department needs the language in a motion accepting the hold harmless so they can issue the occupancy, certificate of occupancy to the landowner. So we didn't issue it, when y'all approved it, you didn't approve specifically the hold harmless with the recommendation. So what we're asking now is to formal approval of the hold harmless on Lot 45, Cedar Grove subdivision, address 42142 Conifer Drive, Gonzales.
I make that motion, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
A motion by Mr. Brian Malonson, second by Mr. Shake Snyder. Any discussion?
Mr. Chairman.
Go ahead, Todd.
Bill, just one question. And later on, if we do have to come repair something right there, I know this is a whole harmless, but while we're repairing it, driveway, shed, or whatever that's there, it's their responsibility if we have to damage it.
Yes, sir. And on this case here, the carport, everything's on the opposite side from our servitude. It's just a side of the house, carport, actually, the walled side of the carport, backside of the carport. It goes a couple feet into the servitude. And the only thing sometimes that we get into an issue with is if we get in there digging up and they say the vibration of
I've heard that before, yes.
of the equipment called a crack in the brick or whatever.
Foundation repair, yeah.
This is to say, hey, look, you're a little bit close and normal.
Okay.
If we have to go in there, we're going to take an inspection, everything, and anything that happens during the construction, we need a hold harmless to cover us on that.
Okay, sounds good.
Mr. Sadler.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Bill, you said that this came before us before and then was going to go in front of the Planning Commission. And that has not occurred now?
It's in the process. They're going through the revocation process.
Should we get a recommendation from them first before we grant a whole harmless, since this has not occurred, the encroachment of the
Well,
10 feet?
the Drainage Board approved at the last regular meeting
I
to
understand.
recommend to the Planning Commission that, and to offer no objection to the revocation.
But they have not offered us a recommendation that we ought to go ahead and grant the encroachment.
No, that's still in the process.
I guess my question remains, I thought maybe horse being in front of the cart would be better for them to recommend to us than us to move forward right now with a home harmless, let them study it, take a look at the issue.
Actually, in the case of Ms. Alley, you've been on the commission before, when it comes to a drainage servitude, most of the time, I would say the majority of the time, if it's just purely a drainage issue and no other issues involved with it, the Planning Commission usually goes along with the Drainage Board or the Drainage Department in recommending no objection.
So we have no setback building problems here or anything like that?
None.
All right, thank
And
you.
no other problems, as in other places that you reviewed, there's no other problem with this except a couple feet within a pipe that's already covered.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
That's good. And just to review everything, that there will be times when things do come in front of us that hadn't gone forward. We are a committee and we represent a certain division of work within the parish, and our legal looks at it, prior to us doing anything on it. And, hopefully our recommendations have some validity going forward. And, so that's what we got. We need a motion? Do we have?
Count.
Yes. Yeah, Mr. Shakespeare.
And
We
there's,
already had the motion.
there's a number of situations where these things go along parallel, too. I mean,
Yeah.
there's no reason to wait. Some people get information, and you get them at the same time or other times, and so it's, at any point in time, these different decisions can be stopped because of, as you gather more and more information, so no problem with that.
I'm good with it.
Any further discussion? Any opposition? Motion passes. The chair would recognize a motion to adjourn to executive session.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
We have a motion by Mr. Todd Lambert, a second by Mr. Benny Johnson. Roll call, Madam Secretary.
Mr. Shakespeare?
Yes.
Mr. Turner?
Yes.
Mr. Satterley?
Yes.
Mr. Dempsey Lambert?
Yeah.
Mr. Todd Lambert?
Yes.
Mr. Chris Lohr?
Yes.
Ms. Terry Casso?
Yes.
Mr. Brian Malonson?
Yes.
Mr. Benny Johnson?
Yes.
Motion passed.
We are adjourned. This time, the chair will entertain a motion to reconvene from executive session. We have a motion by Mr. Benny Johnson, second by Mr. Todd Lambert. Any discussion? Any opposition? We are in session. We'll,
Move to authorize administration to move forward as directed on the fraud value lock situation.
we have a motion by Mr. Dempsey Shakes, apologize, Mr. Kent Shakespeare, second by Mr. Dempsey Lambert, Dempsey Shakespeare.
I'm glad you
Any
did that.
discussion?
I'm going to do it, David.
Council, we're clear on the motion. Ma'am?
Can you repeat the motion, please?
Yes, move to authorize administration to move forward as directed on the frog value lock situation.
Any discussion? Any opposition? Motion passes. We'll move right on to agenda item number 13.
Motion adjourned, Mr. Chairman.
We're glad to have Mr. Lambert back. We have a motion to adjourn.
You can leave here.
Do I have a second? A second by Mr. Benny Johnson. Any discussion?
We've been having
Any opposition?
Session for like an hour.
We are adjourned.